Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another one of those solstice weapons, and this time is the turn of the shotgun. So we're taking a look at the compass rose, a weapon that's been making quite a bit of noise when it comes to the crucible, and I also think it's a pretty decent shotgun in PvE if you decide to go for a PvE shotgun. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what makes this weapon special, what are the perks that can throw in this weapon, and the ones that you should be looking for if you're looking for a god roll in this weapon. And lastly, we're going to have a mini review where I just give you my thoughts on the weapon, the things that I like, the things that I dislike, and anything in between. But before we get into any of that, let's actually talk about how to actually get this weapon. And you basically get this one the same way you get all the other solstice weapons. You just gather the solstice activity, and at the end you have a chance to get some compass roses. And well, the drop rate for them, not the best, since, you know, we're all just getting flooded with bows. They do show off quite often. One great thing about the compass rose, it's its archetype, since it's a precision frame shotgun, meaning that it's got some really good pellet spread. It's kind of like this, it's kind of like oboe shape, so it's very easy to land on your pellets. This weapon also comes with two different origin traits. The first one's going to be dream work. Whenever you get any assists or assisted final blows, I'll partially reload the weapon from reserves. This is mostly going to come into play in PvE. In Crucible, this is not really going to come up. And the other one's going to be Nadir Focus, which is going to increase your accuracy and range whenever you do some sustained fire with the weapons. Now, that is not something you're going to be able to do a lot with a shotgun, at least in Crucible. So, both of the origin traits for Crucible are not great. But it doesn't really matter, because what we're really interested in is going to be those trait perks. So without further ado, let's actually start looking at the perks on this weapon. So we're going to be starting off with the barrel and the magazines, and we're not going to spend too much time here. But for the barrel, in the Crucible, you're going to be looking for rifle barrel. This is going to be the best one. It's going to give you plus 10 range, which is going to really help us. It does take a little bit of handling away, but don't worry, that won't be an issue. Now for PvE, you could really go with any barrel. You know, the shotgun barrels don't really matter too much for PvE. Just don't go with full choke, essentially. Anything else will be pretty good. Now for the magazine, we're going to have two different options for Crucible. You either want to run accurized rounds for the plus 10 range, or you want to run assault mag for the increase to RPM. Which means that you're going to be able to get two shots out faster than everybody else. So if you need to kill someone with a follow-up shot, you're going to be able to just get it out faster than they can. Now for PvE, you could go with assault mag if you want the increased rate of fire, or you could go with either a pendant or tactical, which is going to increase your magazine size. Any of those three are pretty much going to be pretty good for PvE, and those are the ones that you want to go for. So not really anything special, just pretty standard barrels and magazines. But now let's actually move on and take a look at the trait perks. And I gotta say, the trait perks on this shotgun, they're definitely very diverse. Like, you have a lot of different good choices. Alright, so these are the options that we're going to have for this first perk right here. We have Grave Robber, Threat Remover, Slick Draw, Slide Shot, Threat Detector, Dual Loader, and lastly we have To The Pain. I'm going to be starting off with the Crucible perks, since it's definitely more of a Crucible shotgun. And the main three we want to talk about are going to be Threat Detector, Slick Draw, and also Slide Shot. And I think we're going to start with that one. We're going to start with Slide Shot first. A slide shot is going to partially reload our magazine whenever we slide, and we're also going to get a boost to our range and stability. This is going to be good since we're going to be increasing our one-shot potential. Even if it's just by a little bit, it'll definitely make the weapon feel a little more consistent. Now the other two perks are going to be more about the feeling of the weapon, about increasing that handling. Now the first one here, Slick Draw, is going to straight up just give you 100 handling, but it will significantly reduce our target acquisition. So aim assist won't be as strong when you're using Slick Draw, but you will have that 100 handling, making the weapon feel really good. So I definitely think Slick Draw can be a pretty solid choice. But if you don't want to lose any target acquisition or anything like that, then you have Threat Detector. Whenever you're close to somebody, it's going to give you handling, reload, and stability on your weapon. This is usually the go-to on pretty much any shotgun. Threat Detector is always great. You get that handling when you need it. And you also get the extra benefits from the other stats, like the flinch reduction from stability and the reload speed. So I would say that if you want your shotgun just to be the best version, I would definitely go with Threat Detector. I just love Threat Detector. It's been so long since I actually ran a shotgun that didn't have the detector. I pretty much just have them all know the shotguns that I run. Now for PvE, I would say that the best perks are definitely going to be either Grave Robber, Threat Detector again, or Dual Loader. And you pretty much see like a pattern on the perks that we're choosing. They're basically all just going to be a way for us to reload the magazine faster. Grave Robber will make it so whenever we kill something with our melee, or just deal damage with our charged melee, the weapon reloads from reserves. So we're just gonna reload our whole magazine as long as we're killing things or we're just damaging with our charged melee. This is gonna be a fantastic perk, and you're basically never gonna have to actually manually reload when you have this. After that, we're gonna have Threat Detector, which is always gonna be at ×2, since we're always gonna be close to a lot of enemies in PvE. So we're always gonna be taking full advantage of all that reload speed, all that handling. So not only are you going to be able to reload your shotgun really fast with the detector, but it's also going to feel fantastic thanks to all that handling. And the last one is Dual Loader, which is also going to reload our magazine faster, but just in a different way. Instead of just giving us straight up just more reload speed, instead we load 2 shells at a time. So we'll be able to fully reload our shotgun pretty quickly with this. I would definitely say this one's the weaker of the 3. I definitely think like Threat Detector or Grave Robber are probably the best ones that you can go for PvE. Now for the second perk, these are our options right here. Trench Barrel, Incandescent, 1-2 Punch, Snapshot, Opening Shot, Bore Pull, and then Barrel Constrictor. And for the Crucible, there's no doubt about it, you pretty much just want Opening Shot. You want to go for that extra accuracy and range on that first shot, which is going to improve your one-shot potential. That's the only perk that you definitely really want. Everything else is pretty much just not going to be as good. It's like the only thing that's really going to help us in Crucible. Now for PvE, I would say the main 3 that we want to take a look at is 1-2 Punch, Trench Barrel, and probably Incandescent. The first one I want to talk about is going to be Trench Barrel. After we hit something with our melee, our next 3 shots are going to be doing 50% increased damage. So quite a bit of extra damage. Trench Barrel is going to be a pretty solid option for doing some burst damage. You want to just do some big chunks of damage very quickly, Trench Barrel is going to be pretty good. You want to run this shotgun with a melee build, you also have 1-2 Punch, so it can work well with any of your melee builds. And lastly we have Incandescent, which I know it's a bit of a weird choice on a shotgun, but it's a very satisfying perk to use. Using Incandescent in PvE against like a bunch of ads is fantastic in with the shotgun. So if ad clear is something you want to do with this shotgun, you also have Incandescent as an option. So those are the perks that I think are going to be good here on the second slot. And now let's take a look at some god rolls. So the very first god roll that we're going to have here is going to be for the Crucible, and it's Threat Detector plus Opening Shot. Are you really surprised? But yeah, this is going to be like the best one, the best combo that you're going to have for the Crucible. Instead of the Detector, you can definitely go for Slide Shot or Slick Draw, and they're both going to work pretty well as well with Opening Shot. As long as you have Opening Shot, the weapon's going to be doing pretty well, essentially. Now for PvE, the first roll that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Grave Robber plus Trench Barrel. Both of these perks have some pretty great synergy. We're going to be able to just constantly reload our weapon with our melee, and also activate Trench Barrel, meaning that we're basically never going to have to reload our weapon, and we're going to always just constantly activate that Trench Barrel, always constantly getting that 50% damage increase. So this is like the perfect combo. Trench Barrel plus Grave Robber is great. And if you're going for a melee build on the shotgun, then you definitely want something like Threat Detector plus 1-2 Punch. The Detector shows itself again, but it's just such a good perk on shotguns. And lastly, if you want Incandescent, I would definitely recommend that you run it with either Dual Loader or Threat Detector. Those are gonna be like the best choices, just so you can increase the reload speed, so you can just fire off some more into those ads. And those pretty much are the god rolls that I'm kind of like interested in. Let me know in the comments below, what is the god roll you guys are going to be hunting down? Is it going to be something for PvP, something for PvE? And just let me know your overall thoughts on the weapon in the comments below. But now let's actually talk a little about the weapon and just how I kind of feel about it. Now first for PvE, I think it's a pretty okay shotgun. Like I don't see it being like the most amazing PvE shotgun. You definitely have some perks that you can use in PvE, but I feel like there's a lot of other shotguns out there that pretty much do what this one can. So that one itself doesn't really make it special. Something that I do like about this shotgun though is just how it performs in PvP. It's very comparable to the Matador, maybe just not as good as the Matador, but it is a hell of a lot easier to actually get a good one. You can get multiple of them a run, so getting a good roll doesn't really take too long, and it can be a very solid shotgun for the Crucible. I don't think I like it as much as I like the Matador. I think it's still probably better than the shotgun, but it's definitely a very good replacement for it if you don't have a good Matador and you can't really be bothered to go farm one at that boss fight. It's definitely just a lot easier to get, and you're still going to be able to get some pretty decent consistency out of this shotgun, so I would definitely recommend it. But with that, we're going to end today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this shotgun. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you see yourself using it in something like PvE or Crucible? Let me know that in the comments below. And thank you for stopping by today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.